What's going on, everybody? I'm drawing chaos, and something doesn't seem right. What? What the hell? What is going on here? I think I found a bug. What's going on, everybody? I'm drawing chaos, and welcome back to Satisfactory, where I like building crazy, amazing things. But in today's episode, today's video, I am not actually going over any of that. I'm showing you the wonders of photo mode. Ooh, fancy. Now, what are some benefits for using photo mode? Well, you can make all these little cool like things where you can actually like zoom in and zoom out. Everything's kind of automated like that. But as well as you can actually get some unique pictures, or one of my favorite things to do, kind of go in there and just change up like how your Pioneer looks for your friends. So maybe I just want to be like, where's my favorite one? Man, I'm dead. Help me, help me. Oh no, Yamcha's been Yamcha'd. So if you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be going over exactly how photo mode works. But first things first, it's loud with all these trains, so let me go to somewhere a little bit more quiet. Alright, so here we go. This is a lot more quiet, you know, and we have a beautiful landscape to use. Alright, so first things first, photo mode is always with the letter P, unless you're on one of the controllers, and then, well, good luck with that. Now, one of my favorite things to do so far is going to press R for decouple mode. This actually gives you a nice little drone to kind of go around as if your character was right there. Oh, look at me. I'm just lying around. The best thing about decoupling mode is once you have the tab setting, you have all this on the side, and you have this button that says Show Dolly Settings, where you can actually make a dolly for your camera. Now, if I was to normally do this, photo mode and tab, that is not over there. So R to decouple, and now you'll have a dolly setting. Now you have two options to start off. You have a set start point and set end point. Now you can, you know, be like looking over here and have a start point, and then you could kind of come over here and you can have an end point. We could just be like right there or something like that. And then it gives us more options. Now, just to note, because this was very annoying, I'm using my middle mouse button to kind of move. Otherwise, it kind of gives my, what's it called? My little cursor over here. Now, if I press the left button, probably going to take a photo. That gets really annoying. So I'm using the middle mouse button for that. Once I get these points, I can go back, and I can go forward, and I can see each one. Then, if I press play, it gives me a nice little set, and what it does is it just rocks back and forth. You can make it go a lot quicker. Whoa, that's kind of like too much. And then you can go a lot slower. And of course, you can lock onto stuff, which kind of looks really weird, depending on what you set it on, because like, what if I just went to this one? And now it's just kind of going over and... Ooh, actually, that's really cinematic. I like that. I'm curious on what's it going to do when it hits the end. Oh, God. Oh, that is good. So I would say trial and error when it comes to the dolly setting, just to kind of get the right approach to it. But for the most part, not too bad. Also, thing to note is because you can press the start point and end point whenever you want, you can set a point, and then if you have to move your character or whatever, get a thing, you can go back in there and press the right point, and that way you can actually get multiple pictures of the same area without having to worry about if you just kind of move the picture just slightly. Now, you can set the tracking point, all that good stuff and whatnot. You can blend camera settings. I have no clue what that does because it doesn't seem to actually do anything. Then you have the interpol thing down here. Now this allows you to do, let's actually bring this down to about 5 seconds. You'll be able to get the gist more easy. So we have stuff like ease in, which it kind of like goes in and it slows down. And then we have one that eases out, and then when it eases out and eases in. Explode in if you wanted to just kind of zoop in real quick. So we got that nice little slow start, and whoa, look at over there. Nope, never mind. Explode out. Whoa, nope, let's go back in. One that's gonna go back and forth. And linear. So dolly settings are really fun to mess around with, especially if you want to see some cool shots. But unfortunately, you're going to have to record it in a secondary software, such as OBS. And of course, you can press the T button to hide everything in there. And I need to stop this because this is making me sick. Maybe if we go really slow. Oh, na 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 na. So yes, that is really cool. Now, the next thing we have over here is we have 3 tabs on the bottom. One of the fun ones is going to be the Pioneer. So let's find Mr. Pioneer. All right, let's put, her. Let's find her. We'll put her right here so we'll get the gist of everything. And we'll aim her this way. P for photo mode, R to decouple. And we'll kind of get her in the shot. There we go. That's a good shot. So if I press tab, I open up my settings over here. I go to Pioneer. I have 30. That's right, 30 different ones. And we can start at the beginning. And if you want to, you can always rotate your character so you can actually see them. And then you can just filter through the poses on which one you feel is most apropos. Oh yeah, there we go. Rotate it around. There we go. Now, look into camera. I don't think it works for every single one of them, but it's definitely fun to have. Whoa, that one's kind of creepy. All right. Are you ready to fight? Whoa. Okay, sometimes just have, okay, don't look, do not look at me like that. Do not look at me like that. Look away. Okay. All right, look back and look away and look back and look away. Okay, so there's a little bit of fun you can have. This is a blast. All right. No. Whoa. Oh God, that is creepy. Hi. Bye. Hi. Bye. So setting up the Pioneer perfect for your shot is always amazing. Now, in terms of the camera mode, we have decoupling, and if I hit this, it actually goes back into the camera. I can change the zoom settings into here, and then I can change the roll settings, you know, depending on how you want it. But for the most part, I don't think many people are really gonna be utilizing this one. In terms of autofocus mode, normally autofocus is the default. You're gonna leave that there. You can kind of see everything. But if you put it to manual, now tracking, you can have it set to your character, but manual's the one that a lot of people are going to want to play with, because if I change this, ooh, that's weird. So let's say the focus distance is really close. Okay. If I scroll this over, that looks weird, like, here we go. There we go. Basically, you're going to choose the focus distance. Is that going to be closer to where the screen is? So like when my character is away. Or is that going to be really far away and I want this to be blurred? And kind of play with that on which one you feel is basically the right one for you. You can also give yourself a nice little grid. There's certain grids that you could utilize to kind of give yourself an idea of where your screen's going to be. This is really good for screenshots and whatnot, for thumbnails. And then, of course, we got cropping, which should save the picture in this mode. So that's kind of cool, especially with the, where was the other one? Cinematic? No, super ultra wide. Now for the meat and potatoes. This is the creme de la creme, the best part of it, and that is under image. So we now have access to a couple different things that's going to make this so much fun. Exposure, you know, whether or not you want it brighter or darker. And if you ever want to, you can just hit the X on the side to get rid of it. Saturation, which I gotta say, the moody black and white is kind of fun. Contrast is really good. Hey, look, I can finally see my character. This is great for caves if you want to look into a cave. And of course, tint if you want to give it a nice little different color, but whatnot. They've added color filters. So if you want to give it like different feels, or vibrant is one of my favorite actually on this one, because when you have it on vibrant, it makes everything more saturated and looking good, but in a more like default kind of way, like not really like you have to mess around with it like this saturation. It kind of gives you one that's like relatively set. And then there was another good one, not sunset. I'm so lonely. This one's great if you have that little thing that makes it rain. All right. Negative's interesting if you actually kind of want to see inside, like how something looks a specific way. But best way to say this is test out what looks good for the pig. Oh, that looks creepy. No, wait. Where is the end of times? Gosh darn, that is nice. All right. LCD, nope. Oh my god. Some of these, they feel so good. We're gonna stick with vibrant, and then of course you could change the strength of it. You know, you leave it alone. So that's the color correction. That's just to kind of get the feel of everything good. The real one, these effect filters are insane. We can go to posterizing. This is annoying. It's like a wire frame on everything, but it also looks kind of cool. Pixelated. Now if you want to see what it's like in Minecraft. Where's the other one? Posterized. Now this one's interesting because let us keep our stuff here. This is creepy. As cool as this is, the problem with this is for most factories, this is gonna suck. Now, hear me out on this one, okay? So when it comes to your factory, as you can see, the posterizing one, it doesn't show me a lot of detail. What this works really great for is if you have different elements to your build. So as you can see right here, like, because I have this giant wall and all this detail, it gets lost in the posterizing. Now, if I did different floors and different shapes, like a unique shape, that's where this would look really cool. You know what? Let me take you to an area where I think it might be shown off a lot better. Ooh, okay, something like that does look really cool because you can get the different levels of all the different, trains that are going by and whatnot. But if I didn't have this down here, sorry. If I didn't have this area right here and here, that would showcase it a lot better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Now, because you have the different trees in so many different areas, this is how it's supposed to be done. Now, imagine you had a factory where you had a little bit in each kind of area and it just kept going further and further back. That right there would make this so much better. This is where this shines. The like a piece, like basically the silhouette, further and further back in different layers. Each layer kind of makes its own color scheme. So that's where you get those different levels of filler or whatever you want to call it. But yeah. All right, what else we got? Comic. Now this is kind of cool because this reminds me of Borderlands. Oh, that is kind of creepy. I love it. And then Fresno. Oh my god, this is... I can't... You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like some of those comic books you would see. Like if there was like a wolf at the top or something like that. That is... I can't imagine what you would be using this for, but it definitely... Like it has a fun feel to it. It really does. VHS, we can always make a scary movie with this. Imagine going around. Hi gosh. Showing chaos here. Oh my god. Where's Becky? No. Come back. No. Ah! Oh. See what I mean? Like that's just crazy. Cross hatching. That is so weird. Outline is really cool. And then back to none. Now, some of the nice things about this too, like let's say we go back to, we'll use posterized so you can see it on there. Okay. Now you can actually change the effects filter strength, the bloom. Actually, to show off some of these settings, I gotta go back to my build. All right, you ready for this? These are some of my favorite ones to mess with. Bloom right here allows the light to be so much brighter. Definitely a nice little, like, you know, 6, 7, 10, something like that. Mess around with it. And then it gets really weird. I don't know why this is a thing, but you can make things kind of messed up. Like, maybe like a 3D prism effect. That's crazy. This one's cool. This makes it like dark around the edges. So you can kind of see like there's a more focus for the center. And then a little bit grainy. Don't know why you'd want that, but you know, it's available for you. Mostly this is kind of like a meme build that you can do for friends. You kind of show off your pictures. You can put them in the Reddit. You could have a blast with that. You know, you can showcase different areas or whatnot. And like, there's just a bunch of little fun with it. Is this the thing that's going to make 1.1 the greatest thing ever? Probably not. I mean, you can connect belts and stuff like that and blueprints. But definitely, this is so much fun to mess around with. And I do definitely tell everybody that they should give it a try. This is kind of fun, and it's amazing to see what you can come up with. But that was me. I'm Chaos. I'm going to be building in some wonderful stuff. So why not join me by liking, commenting, and subscribing? Right? 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 Alright, we're doing dolly. Lock on. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a beautiful day, and I hope you have a blast with the new photo mode and all the other wonderful stuff that is in 1.1. And if there's anything you want me to go over, let me know down in the comment section. I answer every single comment because I'm insane. So, have a good one, and I'll see you then. Oh, wait. Wait for this. Alright, here we go. We're coming back around. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good one. Bye. That's so stupid. I love it.